Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. The end of World War IV. Sasuke and I are returning to Konoha. I became a legend who saved everyone. Everyone was very happy that the war was over and that we won it. And everything fell into place, and people celebrated the victory for a long time. After this war, all the villages were no longer at odds. The new Hokage was Kakashi, and I think that I will be the next Hokage, because everyone recognized and respected me. And I also forgot to tell you, Sasuke and I are friends again, and also, how can I say, I started dating Hinata. And we have been dating for more than a year now. And so I think I will propose to her tomorrow. Well, now I need to rest before tomorrow. And I fell asleep in an empty room with a smile on my face. Morning. I have already gotten out of bed and am walking around the room, or rather, I am looking for the clothes that I scattered all over the room yesterday. And now I am already dressed and I go outside and decided to take a little walk. When I went out, everything was as usual. People were chatting happily, little children were running and playing. But I began to notice that they seemed to not notice me. They do not pay attention. But once they did not give me a break. Well, okay, I will visit Kakashi-sensei now. He will be happy to see me. And I began to walk towards him. He was usually in his room, working. I walked towards him at a calm pace, but some boy bumped into me and I decided to help him get up, but he pushed my hand away. I don't need help from a scary beast. He made a face and ran on. An animal. That's it. I looked after this boy. I looked at him for a long time, with an empty gaze. After all, I hadn't been called a beast for a long time, since childhood. I looked a little more and then went to Kakashi, or rather ran. And now I'm already standing near the doors, behind which was Kakashi. And suddenly I hear what they are saying there. What are we going to do, Kakashi-san? Said a male voice. It doesn't matter, send a letter that we agree to this, said Kakashi. And after their words, I burst into the room screaming. What are we chatting about? What are we agreeing to? I would like to know date Bane HHHA. Naruto, what are you doing here? I didn't call you, so go away, you're bothering us. Kakashi said in a raised voice and with a terrifying face. What are you saying, Kakashi? I didn't have time to finish speaking before the Hokage interrupted me. I told you to leave. Why don't you obey my orders? He stood up from his chair and pointed his finger at the door, making it clear that I should leave immediately. And I obeyed him and left the room, and they saw me off with displeased looks. I wish this day would come soon, he's driving me crazy, Kakashi said and started digging through some papers. What came over him? I've never seen him like this before. And he thinks he's so arrogant about himself. I tormented myself with these thoughts, and didn't notice how I found myself above the Hokage's faces. I sat on my father's stone face. And I began to think and remember what had happened. And I was a little surprised that I remained alive after all these battles. But I'm alive and I will live no matter what. I sat and looked at the sky until evening came. And suddenly I remembered what I wanted to do today. How could I forget this? I'm proposing to Hinata today. I hope she's home now. And I definitely need to buy flowers. AAA, how could I forget this? I ran home for the ring, took the yoke and ran to buy flowers. And I can't decide which flowers to buy, and then I remembered that she loves begonias. These are quite beautiful flowers and I understand why he loves them. I bought a bouquet of these flowers and headed to Hinata's house. She lived alone, so I could calmly propose when she opened the door. I was very worried and couldn't knock on the door. Stop, I feel chakra and this chakra belongs to Sasuke. I threw the ring and bouquet of flowers from my hands and burst into her apartment and ran into her room, and what I saw shocked me greatly. I saw Hinata having sex with Sasuke. What should she do? What should Sasuke do? What the hell are you doing? Naruto. What are you doing here? Hinata asked in a gentle voice. What are you doing? Hinata, are you really? I will never forgive you. I ran up to Sasuke and wanted to hit him, but he dodged. It's too early for you to fight me, Naruto, Sasuke shouted. I lost my temper and started fighting Sasuke. He hit me, then I hit him. And just as I wanted to use Rasengan and Sasuke Chidori, Hinata stopped us. Sasuke, Naruto, that's enough. Naruto, I'm sorry, but let's break up. Her voice didn't even waver. What are you saying? I love you. I started screaming. I don't love you, Naruto. I love Sasuke. And I won't apologize for this. She stood up and walked up to Sasuke and hugged him and kissed him again. Go away, you're bothering us. I had no other choice but to leave. But I can't come to terms with her betrayal. How could she, and with Sasuke too? My beloved girl left for my best friend. How can this be? I started crying out of despair. I haven't felt so much pain in my soul since my childhood. And it seems to me that the time when I was a little child, when everyone was afraid of me, mocked me, hated me, despised me, has returned. Why? Why? My soul began to scream in pain and I could not bear this pain. But I still hoped and believed in my friends who stayed near me. And with tears in my eyes, I didn't even notice that I was above my father's face. I fell to my knees and gave free rein to my feelings. But when I felt that someone was approaching me, I managed to calm down. And when I saw who came to me, I was surprised. Because it was Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, Lee, Tenten, Sai, and there were others with them, Kakashi and Yamato. And they stood around me, you could say surrounded me. But for what? Forgive us, Naruto, but we have to do this, said Yamato. If you don't resist, it won't hurt you, Sakura said. What do you mean? What do you want to do, tell me? I screamed desperately. The Kage Council decides to destroy all the Buju so that no one else can revive the Ten-Tails. But first they need to be sealed in one place to destroy them with one salvo of the new cloud weapon. 8-tailed beasts have already been collected, only the 9 tails remains. Don't resist, Naruto. Kakashi's voice didn't even waver. And you just agreed to this? How can you? I wanted to convince them. We proposed this idea. You can blame us as much as you want, but this is in the name of justice and the future of humanity. And suddenly it dawned on me and I remembered Obito's words. What are you fighting for? For your comrades? Or for this world? Understand, one day your friends will repay you with betrayal. And this world will turn love into hate. He was right. Justice is created by people with power for their own benefit. No one cares about others. If you are not careful, you will be crushed. Apparently, I was not careful. But I will not give up. And I already thought that you were desperate. Well, in general, to each person you give trust, you give a knife into their hands. With it, they can protect you or destroy you. And in our case, we will destroy you, said Shikamaru. And he began to attack with his shadows. I began to dodge them, but it was not hard for me to dodge them all. They all attacked me with their techniques. Naruto, this is not a joke, use the veil, otherwise they will capture you. Kurami's voice sounded. Okay, Kurama. I used the cover and began to fight them off. I destroyed Sai's drawings one by one and dodged Lee's blows, which were very strong. But apparently they distracted me so that Shikamaru could catch me, and I realized this and did not fall for their trick. I used Rasengan and want to hit Shikamaru, but when I saw his face, my hand twitched and I could not do it. And I fell to the ground and Shikamaru caught me with shadows and I could not move. But I gathered my strength, and just when I thought I was freed, Yamato also grabbed me with his tree. And then I realized that I was caught. I was lying on the ground and could not move, and Sakura came up to me. She put her palm on my head. Sorry, Naruto, but I interrupted her. Don't apologize. I trusted you. My mistake. Not yours. After these words I disconnected. I was in a lot of pain. It is impossible to describe this pain in words. And from this pain I woke up and saw a not very pleasant picture. I saw Shikaku wrapped in chains and all the tailed ones with the same chains were standing next to him. And we were in a dark cave. And as soon as I wanted to get up, I was also wrapped in chains. Don't move, beast! A voice shouted. Otherwise you will die. What's the point if I'm going to die anyway? Shut up, he put the sword to my throat. Shut up, creature. I'm not going to obey you. I destroyed the chains and knocked away the sword with a deft movement, and put my enemy on the ground and put a shuriken to his throat. I can kill you now. Don't be arrogant. More chains grabbed me. And they started to strangle me. Well, let's start sealing. Out of nowhere, 10 people appeared and they stood in a circle and made many seals, from which a spell appeared on the ground that was similar to the one on my stomach. But before I could understand what was happening, they started to pull Kurama out of my stomach. Naruto, we have to break these chains, and my absorption will stop. We must do this. I believe in you, Kurama said. And from these words my soul became warm. Together with Kurama, we began to break the chains and were able to. The seal that was on the ground was broken, and my seal on my stomach was open, which is why all the tailed beasts were imprinted in it. Kurama, blow everything to hell here. I wanted this place to be wiped off the face of the earth. As you say, it makes me happy. Kurama used the bomb of the tailed beast and blew up everything there. And together with Kurama we went far, far away, so that no one would find us. We walked for a long time in search of this place and found a large cave. Kurama, look what a big cave, let's stay here. I was beside myself with joy. Okay. This is a great place to rest a bit, in my opinion. Kurama settled down near the wall and decided to rest a bit. And I decided to do the same and fell asleep. But I didn't fall asleep in an ordinary sleep. I fell asleep in a sleep that lasted for 100 years. Naruto's subconscious. I want to sleep so much. But what are these voices that are calling me? I need to open my eyes. You need to open them. I opened my eyes and found myself in a familiar place and with familiar, animals. Oh, you're finally awake, shouted Hachibi, the eight-tailed demon. You've been sleeping for 100 years, it's high time to wake up, Matatabi said in a gentle voice. That he's already woken up. Just not that, he'll start screaming again now, said the unperturbed Kurama. Don't say that, Kurama, you should be glad that he woke up, Saiken said. What's coming here? Date Bane. I couldn't understand what was happening. And I told you he would scream. Shut up, Kurama. Son Goku, tell me what's going on here. I pointed my finger at him. Well, how can I explain it to you, HM? You became the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts, and fell into a sleep for 100 years. Because your body could not accept so much chakra. 100 years. I became the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts. Hooray! I want to become even stronger, that's why I want to master the 10 Tails cloak. What? All together. What did you hear? Let's start training. The first one I trained with was Shikaku. And of course I lost to him in battle. But after long training I was able to win, and I was able to master the shroud with Shikaku. And so it was with everyone. But when during my last training, in which I tried to merge the chakra of all the Biju and tried to use the 10 Tails shroud, I was able to do it. It was similar to when I used the Kurami shroud. But it was black in color, and had many white seals, and also when I used the 10 Tails shroud, 10 tails and 2 small horns on my forehead appear. I really admired myself that I was able to master the shroud, and as soon as I wanted to try it out, I fell into a 500-year sleep. I know it said 1,000 years, but it seems to me that this is too much. Therefore, it seems to me that 500 is better. My sleep lasted for 500 long years. And now it's time for me to wake up. I open my eyes and see that Kurama is sleeping next to me. I got to my feet and left the cave. It was dark in the cave and the bright warm sun was shining outside. I hadn't seen him for so long, and I didn't feel the light breeze that was blowing my hair that had grown over these 500 years. But my rest was disturbed by a girl's scream. I went to the source of the sound. And I saw that some scumbags were attacking the girl. They wanted to rob and rape her. And as soon as this scumbag extended his hand to touch her, I used Shunshin no Jutsu. In short, he teleported, and took his hand and didn't let him touch it. And I made him fall. How dare you pester a defenseless girl? I looked at him from top to bottom. And they realized that they could die, and they ran away, or rather I let them run away. I turned to the girl. She was a beauty, black long hair and such eyes. And they looked into my eyes, looked and looked. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? I asked without any emotion. Why, yes, she answered, looking down at her feet. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? I asked without any emotion. Why, yes, she answered, looking down at her feet. She had very beautiful, long black hair, which was gathered in a ponytail, and her beautiful black eyes and thick eyelashes, which gave her beauty. But her clothes surprised me. I've never seen anything like them before. I don't know how to describe her clothes, so here's http://safeboard.org/index.php $page post and s=view and id =548723. She looked at her legs, but suddenly looked sharply at me. Of course, I am grateful to you for saving me. But don't you dare call me a defenseless girl, I can stand up for myself. And you interfered with our mission. With these words, she wanted to hit me, with a fist in the face. But it was too easy to hit me, so I dodged. But I did not expect a kick from her, so she hit me in the stomach, but I managed to defend myself. She was surprised that I was able to defend myself, and I just smiled. And she got angry, and she began to move faster and hit harder. She carried out many different attacks. But she never touched me. Who the hell are you? She stood in some kind of stance. And on her right wrist something started to glow, and a magic circle with runes appeared on the ground, and out of nowhere something metallic appeared in both her hands. I had never seen this before, so I stood and looked at it, and wondered what it was. And I hear a sound, and many magic circles appear on these metal things, which puzzled me even more. And before I could blink, they were already flying at me. And with great effort I was able to dodge, but they hit me, and my body felt very strong pain, from which I fell to the ground, but then the pain suddenly stopped. But I could not get up. And this girl began to approach me. And she sat down. You're unlucky today. But I'm surprised that you were able to dodge the shot of Void GHQ-21. And she put this metal thing to my forehead. And as soon as she wanted to make another shot, I knocked her thing away, but she didn't let go of it. And then I hit her, and she fell to the ground. WH. What? How can you stand after my shot? And still move like that? She was clearly confused, but why? What are you talking about? I was also confused. That's why I went up to her and sat down. I'm wondering what kind of thing this is. I've never seen anything like it. I pointed my finger at her hand. You mean this? She raised her hands. Are you completely out of your mind? This is a void. Like a gun but shoots with magic. From the company. GHQ-21. What? I asked her again. But I didn't hear anything in response. I only saw a very surprised face. Have you never seen it or heard of it? Everyone has them. No, I answered, which made her even more surprised. What century are you living in? She apparently wanted to say something else but fell silent. Yes, I'm listening. Well, like one guy interrupted me. Okay, I'll be there now. What? Are they heading towards me? I get it, I'll be leaving now. She said this holding her ear, and I didn't understand it. Was she talking to herself? Hey you! We need to get out of here! She shouted at me. Why? Enemy troops are heading towards us, and there are a lot of them, so we need to run. Enemy troops? There will be a fight. How happy I am! I haven't fought for a long time, and I want to try my strength against State Ban. Where are they? Do you want to die? She wanted to stop me and took my hand. And I remembered how Hinata took me in exactly the same way once. And I subconsciously knocked her hand away and shouted, Don't touch me! She got scared and stepped back a little. Forgive me. I didn't mean to. I dropped my gaze to the ground. Nothing. By the way, you wanted to fight, right? Well, look around. We have nowhere to go now and no other choice but to fight. And I just noticed that we were surrounded by 15 people. And they were dressed the same as this girl, only black, and they had masks. And they had different weapons in their hands in some. Some had similar weapons to hers, others had swords or something else, and so on. Naruto, can I help you? Kurami's voice was heard. No, it's not necessary, but I will use your cover, okay? I asked. Use as much as you want, Kurama replied. Excellent. My clothes became bright yellow-orange. In short, the cover, everyone knows what it is. When I used it, everyone stepped back a little. And they started chatting. And the stranger girl also looked down. She looked at me with her eyes, in which you could read fear. What are you afraid of? Ha ha ha, I started laughing at her. Do you know how to use chakra? She asked in a hoarse voice. What a stupid question. Of course. You're weird and they're all weird. Where did Kurama take me? He uses chakra. This can't be. Are there still those who can use chakra? The enemies shouted. Don't pay attention to the fact that he has chakra. But he broke the law, and we have to catch him, as well as this girl, as his accomplice. Apparently their commander shouted. What other law? I asked him. What, you don't know? What kind of idiot do you have to be not to know this? Well, okay, I'll tell you. The law is to say, don't allow anyone to use chakra. And detain those who use it, and if he resists, he can be killed. But since it's very rare to find people who know how to use chakra these days, you'd say to us, a diamond from which we can get rich. Catch him alive. And don't let him go. He pointed to his men to attack us. I don't understand anything, but I will fight you. Date Bane, ha ha ha. I ran to meet them and the battle began. Date Bane, where did I hear that? She asked herself thoughtfully. What are you standing there for? Help. Fine. The battle began. Many shot at me, but no one could hit me. There were also people who were very strong in close combat. And it became more and more difficult for me to fight off everyone. But my stranger came to my aid. She was very good at her weapon. She shot everyone without stopping and fought back. And I really liked her. I got a little distracted and they started attacking and shooting at me, and I fell to the ground. It was very painful, but this pain could be endured. So I stood up and said, You know, you amuse me, but these are not toys anymore, and it hurts me, so I will start playing seriously. I looked at them with a murderous look and then at the stranger. Come here or you will get hit too. She obeyed me, ran up to me and stood behind me. And I raised my hand up and 2 more hands from chakra appeared from my back and they began to create a colossal Rasen Shuriken. When it took its form, everyone was scared and I smiled. And so I throw it to them. Colossal Rasen Shuriken technique. I threw it at them, but someone put up a barrier. And my technique disappeared. And the barrier that stopped my attack began to disintegrate, and eventually it too collapsed. My colossal Rasen Shuriken couldn't break through this barrier? I said. He was able to destroy, not destroy the barrier, asked the girl. And everyone thought that there would be another round, if not for one thing. Naruto, I see you have problems. How pathetic you are. Hee hee hee. A terrible voice sounded, which was similar to the voice of the devil. Well, of course you understood who this Booga is. Don't laugh at me, but better yet, help me. I shouted in a cheerful voice. Don't tell me what to do or I'll crush you, was the demon's threatening voice. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm asking for help. And if I were telling you what to do, I'd order you to bring me a hot ramen. Oh, life would be heaven. Dream about it, he began to shout. Who is this? I'm scared. She came even closer to me. Don't worry, this is my friend. I calmed her down. Kurama, don't hide, come out. The earth began to shake from the steps of the demonic beast. And a huge beast with 9 tails came out of the cave. He let out a roar that shook the air and scared the enemies to death. He took a couple more steps and ended up behind me emitting a terrifying aura. Everyone was very scared, and many who wanted to escape fell to the ground and could not get up. Well, my, so to speak, friend grabbed my hand and looked at Kurama. And I heard how my enemies began to chatter. Demon. B, beasts. Die, animals. Someone shot at us, but Kurama blocked it with just a wave of his paw. Demons, beasts, right, you're right, we are beasts. I didn't even notice how I used the 10 tails cloak. And I began to emit a black aura. Small horns appeared on my head. And my hair became pitch black and the tips of my hair shimmered white. And I began to move my 10 tails, and they began to create a strong wind. And I looked at my enemies from top to bottom with my red eyes that shimmered orange. A man must be truly brave and even dangerous to defeat a fierce beast, I said. Many started running after my words. I won't let them run away. I stretched my hand forward, and a small ball started to appear. When it formed, I shot it. And they used the same barrier that stopped my colossal Rasen Shuriken. But I don't think that this time this barrier will save them. And I was right, it collapsed in a second and they were hit by my attack. But it could have hit us too, so we had to leave this place. And my cover immediately ended. Still, the shroud is cool, right, Kurama? I couldn't be happier. That's right, and I've never seen anything like it before, Kurama replied. Have you forgotten about me? Asked the stranger. Oh, that's right, I completely forgot, sorry. I started running towards her, but she hit me and I fell to the ground. Why hit me? How to understand all this? Explain everything to me, please. And what kind of fox is this? She looked at Kurama. And this is Kurama, my faithful friend and comrade. I've been with him since childhood. Although he looks scary, he is kind and good. What did you say? Kurama was indignant. Ha ha ha, you see, don't be afraid of him. I forgot to ask, what's your name? There was a wide smile on my face. My name is Yuki. My vision started to darken, and I felt weak, which made me lose consciousness. But I never heard her full name. I hear some voices. Who do they belong to? Kurama! Please do it again, the girl screamed. I won't, otherwise you'll definitely kill me, Kurama shouted. Yes, it's Yuki and Kurama. Why are they screaming? Can't they be quieter? I began to lazily open my eyes and saw that the sun was already setting. Why are you shouting? I wanted to get up, but a sudden pain throughout my body did not allow me to do so. Oh, you finally woke up. Yuki ran up to me. You lost consciousness so suddenly that I was a little scared for you. The girl extended her hand to me to help me get up. And I extended my hand to her. Don't use this power often, otherwise it will destroy you. Do you understand that, Naruto? Said Kurama, who was looking at me from top to bottom. Yes, I already understood that, I said, scratching the back of my head. And as soon as I wanted to continue the conversation, Yuki interrupted me. So your name is Naruto, such a cool name. And that was the name of the hero of the Fourth World War. You are lucky with your name. She put her hand on my shoulder and smiled tenderly. But after a while she abruptly removed her hand and screamed and fell to the ground. What was that? Yuki asked with a scream. You probably felt the one who sits inside me. I put my hand to my stomach. My friends. I smiled at her and extended my hand. Inside you? It can't be you? The hero with the hair of the sun and the eyes of the clear sky. The hero of the Fourth World War. Uzumaki Naruto. She looked at me with surprised eyes. But for some reason it seems to me that there is anger and hatred in these eyes, but I did not attach much importance to this. Yes, I am Naruto Uzumaki. Hero of the Fourth World War, ha ha ha, and no need to embellish it so much. I was even embarrassed. How is this possible? After all, this war was 600 years ago. What? What? I shouted throughout the forest. Kurama, what does this mean? Please explain to me? When you took possession of the veil, you fell into hibernation for 500 years, satisfied. Then don't scream, the fox said in a quiet voice. Minus 500 years is a long time. Hee hee. 500 years. Naruto! Don't leave us! Do you hear me? Wake up, Naruto! Yuki tried to bring me to my senses. And the girl couldn't take it anymore, and hit me in the face. Stop crying, you're a man! Why hit me? It hurts. Kurama, what should I do, and how could this surpass? I don't understand anything. I would never have thought that the hero of World War IV is such an idiot and a winner, said Yuki with a twisted face. Finally, someone understands me, Kurama sighed. Where is Konoha and what happened to it? I suddenly asked. Konoha was destroyed 400 years ago, Yuki said calmly. And when I heard this I started shaking. I just can't believe that it was destroyed. How is this possible? Am I alone again? No, I was alone from the very beginning, and the only ones who were truly with me were Kurama, Gyuki, Chomei, Saiken, Kaku, Son Goku, Isabu, Matatabi and Shikaku. And suddenly I felt a terrible pain in my stomach, from which I almost fell. Naruto, what's wrong? Asked a worried Yuki. I'm hungry, I said barely audibly. But Kurama heard it and started laughing at me, and then Yuki too. We need to go to the city, and you can eat there. And I can take you there. Kurama and I agreed to go with her to this city. When we were walking to the city, Yuki told me everything about this time. And she also forbade me to use chakra, otherwise they would want to kill me again. She also told me about school and much, much more. I learned a lot from her. If not for her, I would not know what to do. And now we are approaching the city. Yuki told me that I should not tell anyone that I am from the past, and not tell anyone that my last name is Uzumaki, otherwise they will ask me a lot about it. And now we are already near the city, and there is one problem, and that is Kurama. Kurama, you are too big to enter the city, said Yuki. What should we do? I asked. I know what to do, we need Kurama. Do what you did when Naruto was unconscious, Yuki said in a cheerful voice. Okay. Kurama obediently agreed. And his chakra began to appear around Kurami. And he began to shrink, and shrank to the size of an ordinary fox, but his 9 tails remained. And when I saw this, I could not stop laughing. And Yuki began to hug him, although no, to strangle him. And Kurama began to yell at us. We calmed down and went into the city. I was very surprised when I saw him. I could not stop admiring him. Yuki began to talk about the city. And it is called Zone 21. A strange name, only this I can say. And so, according to Yuki, we enter her apartment. I'm so tired and hungry. What do you have to eat, Yuki? I asked, looking around the apartment. She had an ordinary apartment. I'll cook you something now, and will you eat, Kurama? Yuki asked tenderly. But she didn't hear the answer because Kurama turned away and walked into an unknown room. But Yuki wasn't surprised, and she went to the kitchen and started cooking food for me. I was very interested in how she did it, so I spied on her. Yuki ran around the kitchen, while managing to fry, steam, boil, and so on. And when she finished cooking, I sat down to eat. The food was very tasty, so I asked for more many times. And when I ate, I went to sleep on an unknown bed. But Yuki didn't let me sleep. Go to the living room and sleep. She threw me off the bed. Why? I was very tired and sleepy. This is my room, so get out of here. Yuki kicked me out of the room. And I walked into the living room with small and slow steps, fell on the sofa and fell asleep. I woke up from something falling on me, and it was a knocked-out Kurama. What happened? Hey Yuki, why is Kurama unconscious? I shouted. Because I'm late for school because of him. This sly fox, I'll kill him when he gets back. Yuki ran around the apartment, and she put on some clothes. I want to go to school with you, take me with you. No way, I will never take you with me. Stay at home and don't go anywhere. She ran out of the apartment. As if I have anywhere to go. And I will take revenge on you for not taking me with you. I started to make a mess in her apartment, throwing her things all over the room. And I did this for an hour, but then I got bored. So I lay down on the couch again and looked at the ceiling. I looked and looked until Yuki came. I'm home. What was Naruto doing? When Yuki saw her apartment, she was speechless, and she turned into a monster. Hello, how was school? Was it fun? And I was bored, so I did all this so as not to be bored, but then I got bored of it too. And I looked at the ceiling and looked until you came. What the hell did you do to my apartment? She started screaming and getting mad. And I started running away from her, because if she caught me, she wouldn't say hello to me. But when she caught up with me, she knocked all the nonsense out of my head, and after all that, she started cleaning the apartment. And when she cleaned everything, Yuki started making dinner. And it was, as always, very tasty. You're going to school again tomorrow? And you won't take me with you? Yes, I'm going, and of course I won't take you with me. Well then expect even more chaos tomorrow. Okay, I had a grin on my face. And Yuki choked on her food because of this. Okay, you will go to school. Yuki took out a computer and started typing on it. When I asked her what she was doing, she said that she was entering my data for admission to school. When she did this, she went to the doors, she opened them and then closed them, but she had something in her hands. Here, take this, this is your uniform. I took it and looked at it, it was white. Do I have to wear this? I didn't like this uniform. Of course. And go to bed, because you have to get up early tomorrow. Yuki shouted and locked herself in her room. I obeyed Yuki and went to bed. Early in the morning Yuki woke me up and said that it was time to go to school. I changed into a white uniform that I didn't really like. Then we went to school together, and Kurama voluntarily stayed home. When we were walking to school, Yuki was telling me about school, but I wasn't interested in it, so I didn't listen to her. And then we were already near the school. It was huge. And when we entered it, everyone was looking at me and whispering about something. Well, Yuki didn't pay attention to it and walked forward. "Yuki, why is everyone looking at me like that?" I asked in a quiet voice. "Because you're new to our school and no one has seen you, so everyone is looking at you." Yuki turned her head towards me and looked me over from head to toe. "And also because you stand out too much." "Will I stand out? How?" I asked, confused. "Well, this uniform suits you, and also because of your hair it's too long, and at the same time it makes you look prettier, and also you're tall, and girls love all this, so they look at you and whisper. That's all." She sighed and looked around, and turned somewhere, and I followed her. And then Yuki pointed her hand to the side and there stood the teacher. "There's a teacher waiting for you there. Go up to him and he'll tell you everything. By the way, your last name is Shimizu now." "Naruto Shimizu, remember? Well then I'm leaving until we meet after school." She waved her hand at me and left. I went up to the teacher and the bell rang for class. "Hello, you are probably new. Naruto Shimizu, right?" The teacher looked at me. "Yes, I'm new," I answered, looking at the teacher. "Okay. My name is Kondo Ogawa. I will be your homeroom teacher. Let's go to class." He opened the doors and entered the classroom, and I followed him. And when he entered, everyone became quiet, and when they saw me, they began to whisper among themselves. "Hello?" And I asked for silence so I can make an announcement. "As you understand, an exchange student has transferred to us. Please introduce yourself." The teacher looked at me. "My name is Naruto Shimizu. I will be glad to study with you." I bowed. I hope I did everything as Yuki told me. But for some reason everyone was silent. "Naruto, go sit on a free desk," said the teacher. And I started walking to a free desk. It was near the window in front of the last one. When I sat down on the desk, the teacher started the lesson. He was telling something that I didn't understand at all. So I put my head on the desk and started looking at the blue sky through the window, and the teacher started telling something louder and louder. But someone interrupted his lesson. "Hello, sorry Ogawa-sensei, I overslept," said the voice of a girl who had just entered the classroom. "Okay, take your seat," the teacher answered and continued the lesson. And the unfamiliar girl began to walk to her desk, and as she kept getting closer and closer to me, her desk was behind me. And when she came up to me and looked at me, she ran up to me screaming, "You're new! And you're handsome! Wow, what hair! Are you a foreigner or not? What's your name? Where did you come from?" She ran up to me and took my hand and started asking me a bunch of questions. I looked at her with surprised eyes. "Hey, please stop asking so many questions and let go of my hand." "Oh, I'm sorry." She smiled and let go of my hand. "Hey Kinishi, don't stick to him," the girls shouted. "I'm not clinging to him. I just want to get to know him. My name is Konishi Fukui, and you?" She smiled again. "Imagine what she looks like. Let your imagination run wild." "Naruto Shimizu." I tried to force a smile. "Naruto, nice to meet you, let's be friends." She extended her hand to me. "Okay." I extended my hand to her. And I wanted to continue, but I was interrupted. "Hey, we are not disturbing you, and we have a lesson. So please see yourself as you should be." The teacher started scolding us. "Come on, teacher, the lesson is about to end anyway." As soon as she said this, the bell rang. And before I could notice, the whole class surrounded me and started asking a lot of questions, and I had no other choice but to answer their questions. As soon as I wanted to run away, the bell rang for class. It's the third hour of classes. Everyone is tired. The teacher draws a diagram on the board, a circle and another circle inside it, and asks in a happy voice, "What does it look like?" And then a quiet, sad voice is heard from the audience. "Like an oval." Everyone started laughing, even I smiled. But after the funny joke, the boring lesson started again. And in order not to get bored, Konishi started playing with my hair. She braided many pigtails, twisted them, and so on. And then the bell rang for recess, and I with difficulty left the classroom and headed to Yuki. She said that she studies in another wing and said in which class, but where exactly he is I don't know. I wandered around the school and looked for her. And I found her, but some guys were pestering her. Well, just like when we met, I approached them. "Why are you being stubborn? Come with us," said some guy. "Don't even think about refusing," the guy said with a grin. "No way. If I go with you, I might get infected with your stupidity," Yuki said with a smile. "What did you say?" The guy wanted to hit her, but Yuki put him on the ground with a deft movement. "Do you want to hit me? Well then, go ahead." She let him go and showed him with her hand to attack. And his hand began to glow just like Yuki's then, and a not very big sword appeared in his hand. The guy began to attack Yuki. She deftly dodged his attack, but another guy snuck up behind her and began his attack. And I immediately protected her, and I took his attack in my hand, and blood began to flow from it. "Do you even understand what you wanted to do? You could have killed her," I started telling this guy. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" Yuki asked me. "How is your hand?" "It just hurts a little, that's all," I replied. "You took a direct hit on your hand. How can you still stand on your feet, and why wasn't your hand blown to pieces?" the guy asked with a trembling voice. "He took the blow and can stand? Who is he?" "I have never seen him," said those who had just seen it. "What's wrong? Wasn't the shot so strong that I fell to the ground? What's going on, Yuki?" I was confused. "You just took a shot from our school's strongest void," Yuki said, looking at my hand. "I would like to see you in my office. But first, go to the medical center," the director said out of nowhere. And Yuki and I went to the medical center, where they bandaged my arm. "Well, and then we went to the director." "I was waiting for you," said the director. "Yuki, you broke the school rules, so you will be punished. You must return the void to the vice director, do you understand?" "But director, I didn't use the void, why should I return it?" asked Yuki with a depressed face. "Don't be afraid, you'll have it in a week. And what about you? You're new, right? You handled our school's strongest void so easily, and even got scratches. I'd like to see your void, show it to me, please." "What, I don't have it, he, I said with a laugh. And the director was very surprised by this. "I don't even believe it somehow. But you are very strong. I even feel your strength." He looked at me as if he could drill a hole. "Well, if you don't have a void, then we will give it to you." He took out a bracelet and put it on my hand. And suddenly the bracelet began to glow, and a magic circle appeared on the ground. It was very big. And then some huge object began to appear in my hand, but I didn't see it because of the light. And as soon as I began to understand what was in my hand, it disappeared, and the bracelet fell and shattered into a bunch of small pieces. And the director was shocked by what he saw, and after that he sent us home. Why didn't the void appear, and why did it collapse? Yuki was in thought when we were walking home. "Naruto, you go home yourself and I need to do something." "Okay," she ran away without hearing my answer. Well, I didn't go home but decided to take a little walk. I left the city and went to a large forest. I quickly came to it, and when I saw it, it was very familiar to me, and there was also a cliff, and at the bottom of the cliff there was a large dense forest that it was not visible what was hiding in it. I stood on the edge of the cliff to better see what was hiding in the forest, but a strong wind blew and I lost my balance and began to fall down. And I fell on some big stone, and when I began to look at what I fell, I was stunned because it was my father's face, or rather the face of the Hokage. And I turned my head and saw a village, which was hiding in the forest, and it was my native village in which I grew up, Konoha. And I fell on some big stone, and when I started to look at what I fell I was stunned because it was my father's face, or rather the Hokage's face. And I turned my head and saw a village, which was hidden in the forest. And it was my native village where I grew up, Konoha. How is this possible? Because Yuki said that it was destroyed 400 years ago. I went down to the ground and started to look around the village. It was like abandoned. Everything was overgrown with plants, but somewhere I felt chakra. And I started to look for those who live here. And I searched almost the entire village but found no one. No. Someone is approaching. He threw shurikens at me but I dodged. I took a few steps back and looked around me but saw no one. And again they throw shurikens at me, but this time there were more of them. But this time they did not touch me. "Hey, who's there? Show yourself, stop hiding," I shouted. And 5 people appeared, and they were dressed like shinobi and had masks on. And without thinking, they attacked me. They were very fast and not at all like those I had already encountered. They did not use voids, they fought hand to hand with shurikens. So now is not the time to think about it. "Who are you? What happened to Konoha?" I asked, and everyone immediately took a couple of steps back. "Do you know about Konoha?" asked the masked man. "Yes, I grew up in it." My nerves were on edge. "What are you talking about? We don't know you," some guy shouted and disappeared. "Did he just use ninjutsu? Can they really use chakra?" And suddenly some guy disappeared and hit me in the back, and I fell to the ground, flying a couple of meters away. "It hurts." I stood up. "I asked you a question, what happened to Konoha and where is everyone? And you know how to use chakra, am I right?" "Damn, how could he know that we can use chakra? And how did he know where Konoha is?" asked the same guy who hit me. "I fell off a cliff and landed on the Hokage's face, and then started looking for people, and found you. And I can use chakra myself," I said with a smile. "He can use chakra?" Everyone was surprised. "What are you talking about? You're spying. And we won't fall for it," the guy in the mask shouted. And suddenly another guy appeared next to him, also in a mask. "Kiro, enemy troops from Zona 34 are approaching us," another stranger quickly said. "What? Everyone is preparing for an attack. It's all because of you that you brought troops here, am I right?" The guy started to approach me. "Enough of this, State Bane. I'm not a spy and I didn't bring troops here. I got here by accident, and I'm not lying about the chakra. He's driving me crazy." "Well then, if you can get out of here, then maybe I will believe you. He tied me up with chakra near a tree, and then he himself disappeared like everyone else. What the hell is going on here? And when did he manage to tie me up with chakra?" I started screaming. And after a while I started trying to get out. But I couldn't do it, and then it dawned on me that I could absorb this chakra. Kurama taught me just in case, and that came in handy. I quickly absorbed the chakra and headed to the battlefield. And when I saw how they were fighting, I was overcome by memories of when I also fought, defending what was dear to me. They still use chakra, they use the same techniques that my friends used. I thought a little more whether I should join the fight. Well, my decision was, of course, yes. I headed towards them. And the guy who tied me up noticed me. And now I'm standing on the battlefield. "How did you manage to escape?" He was very surprised. "I told you that I can use chakra. We spoke while dodging the enemy's attacks and it wasn't very convenient. I still won't believe you if I don't see it." Wind dance. He pushed the enemy away about 20 meters and caught me in the process. "Are you an idiot? I'm on your side." "Sorry, I accidentally hit you." He said this with a laugh. And he got distracted and 3 people shot at him at once and he couldn't dodge. "Watch out." Multiple shadow cloning. My clones took the hit and immediately disappeared. "You can really use chakra?" He was lying on the ground. "And you didn't believe me? Come on, get up." I gave him my hand to help him get up, but he didn't accept my help. Why accept help from a person who only sees himself as a king because of the clones? And someone shot at me and I didn't hear what he said, but I managed to stop the shot with my hand. And this shot is weaker than that guy who shot me today. And what you just said, I didn't hear because of the shot. Nothing. His voice was shaking because of what? Hey, stop talking, we're actually having a battle here. Someone's voice was heard. And this guy and I don't even know how it happened, started fighting as a pair. We covered each other, or I was constantly covering him, and we were surrounded. And the guy and I stood with our backs to each other and fought off the attacks as best we could, but I didn't use chakra. "Hey, what's your name?" asked the stranger. "My name is Uzumaki Naruto," I shouted, and I don't care what Yuki will say if he finds out that I said my last name. "Uzumaki Naruto? No, that can't be," the guy said to himself. "My name is Uchiha Kira." Uchiha? My mind became clouded and unpleasant memories came flooding back. But I didn't stop fighting, and now we have defeated the enemies. Kira was far from me and I started to approach him while hiding my face. "Uchiha? Hee, that can't be," And if it's true, then that means you have Sasuke and Hinata's blood in you? I hate the Uchiha. My mind went cloudy and I couldn't control myself. And a Rasengan started to appear in my hand, and I was getting closer and closer to it. Hey Naruto! What's wrong? Kira took a step back. I hate the Uchiha. I started to run, and as soon as I wanted to direct the Rasengan, I heard Kurama's voice. Naruto, don't be stupid! Calm down! Don't even think about killing him! And as soon as I heard his voice, I came to my senses and stopped the attack. What just happened, Naruto? Can you explain? You wanted to attack me? And wasn't that a Rasengan by any chance? Kira's voice was shaking. Excuse me. I just remembered something bad and lost control of myself. Oh yeah, it was Rasengan. I looked at my hand and started to create Rasengan, and then showed it to Kira. See, I can use Rasengan and you can't. I made a face and started laughing. How can someone like you know how to use Rasengan? He took off his mask and ran up to me and started looking at the Rasengan. And he had black hair and black eyes. Uchihas are all like that. You're the spitting image of Sasuke. I was a little scared. Sasuke? Where did I hear that? Sasuke, Uchiha Sasuke? But he's the founder of the Uchiha clan. How do you know him? Kiro couldn't calm down. He's not a clan founder. He's an arrogant idiot who pretends to be God knows what, and betrays friends at the first opportunity. I went from shouting to whispering. How do you know him? Asked a man behind him. He was once my friend, once, I repeated. How is this possible? Everyone in chorus. Why does everyone have the same reaction? Okay, I'll tell you something. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the hero of the Fourth World War, the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Beasts. Or rather, now I'm the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts. I know you might not believe me, but when I got all the tailed beasts, I fell asleep for 100 years, and then for 500 years. I didn't believe it myself. I muttered the last words barely audibly. And when I raised my head, I saw many people looking at me with bewilderment. At least say something. There's a legend sitting in front of us. Are you kidding me? I don't believe it, people said. I believe you, Kira said. And when I looked at him, I saw that he was using the Sharingan. I see your chakra and the tailed beast chakra. There's so much of it that just a little more and this impression will just come out. Ha ha ha, don't embarrass me like that. I laughed, but my laughter was interrupted by Kurama. Naruto, call me! Kurama was not himself. What happened, Kurama? I was confused. There's no time for questions now. Just call me! Kurama shouted. Okay. I looked around. Could you please step back a little? What is Naruto? Kira asked. Nothing, I just want to invite someone here, I said with a smile. Whom? My old friend. Summon, Kurama. I bit my hand and put it on the ground and a lot of dust appeared. It was not visible who I had summoned. But Kurama dispersed the dust with his big tails. You've been shrimp for too long, Kurama shouted in a rough voice. Naruto. Something bad has happened. Yuki screamed. What are you doing here, Yuki? Yuki ran towards me. You summoned me along with Kurama. Naruto, you must save our country. What actually happened? I asked. Everyone attacked our country. Everyone went against us. They started a war against us. The Fifth World War began and many cities have already been captured. Naruto, you must help us. Yuki could not hold back her tears and she begged me for help. Okay, me and Kurama and everyone else will help you. I will help them. Kurama, are you with me? Of course. Where would I go? Kurama was on edge. This will sound stupid on my part, but could you help us with this war? I turned my gaze to the people who still knew how to use chakra. If we have the nine-tailed demon and Naruto on our side, then of course we will join you, shouted Kiro, and everyone supported him. I'm glad about that. I put my hand on my stomach. Are you ready for battle? I opened the seal on my stomach and all the tailed ones appeared near me. Always ready, Naruto, the tailed beast shouted. Well then, forward to war, I shouted and ran, and everyone ran after me. Well then, forward to war. I shouted and ran and everyone ran after me. Everyone ran without hesitation and with self-confidence. But they were a little afraid of the tailed ones, and not everyone really understood what was superior, well, like me. And now we are already near the city. And we were not met with warm embraces. They stopped us halfway and wanted to attack us. Who are you? And what kind of monsters are you with? Do you want to attack us? The troops screamed desperately. We came here to help you. And don't ask unnecessary questions. And where is your leader? Kira shouted instead of me. And so easily we will believe you? Are you dreaming? You are enemies. Begin the attack. He waved his hand and up to 100 people began to shoot at us. And I took a step forward, my clothes turned black with the same cloak, and white seals appeared all over my body. My hair turned black at the tips shimmered white, and 10 tails appeared. My eyes turned red, and my skin became pale. I pulled my hand and the shots that were aimed at us flew in opposite directions, and they exploded without hitting us. And I began to walk towards them, and when they noticed this, they began to shoot at me without stopping, but the shots did not have time to reach me as they were already flying in the other direction. And they did not understand why they could not hit me, so they began to run as far as possible. Where are you running, cowards? Everyone, get back to your place and keep shooting. Their commander-in-chief shouted, and he didn't even notice that I was already standing in front of him, and when he noticed, he fell to the ground. Who are you? His voice was shaking. I am your friend and I want to help you with this war. So don't be afraid of me. And if you tell me where your commander is, it will make our job easier. I sat down and smiled at him. He's in the city center, in the tower R31. I'll take you there. The guy swallowed, stood up and started to lead us to this tower. And when we walked, many were afraid of us, and all because we were with 9 huge beasts that inspired terror. Well, with difficulty we got to the tower. Ayuki Kira went inside and everyone else stayed outside. The guy took us to their commander. Commander, I brought those who want to help us, said the guy. Okay, you can leave. A rough male voice sounded and he stood with his back to us. And why do you want to help us? Because this is where we grew up and we won't tolerate our country being attacked. Yuki shouted. Quiet, Yuki. We want to help because if you don't win this battle, we'll be killed, so we have no other choice but to join you, said a calm Kira. What are you talking about? You're just a bunch of kids who don't even know how to fight. And what do you know about war? You don't even know what it is, the man shouted. I live to fight. I had to fight every day to survive, Kira said quietly. Me too. Yuki supported him. Yuki, Kira, was it really hard for them too? And what if it's even worse in war? He completely contradicted. Do you know what war is? I couldn't resist and approached him. How dare you speak to me in such a tone? He was furious. You don't even know what a battle is. You don't know the pain that war brings and the sadness when your friends, family die. I know firsthand what it is. I had to constantly fight with those who are many times stronger than me. So stop talking nonsense, and just help us with our bonuses. I shouted at him that this commander is now afraid of me. And suddenly I was visited by some unpleasant and familiar feeling. And Yuki looked at me strangely. Okay, I'll accept your help. Go to the left flank, they're having a hard time there now. Go and don't let me down. He pointed to the door and made it clear that we should head there immediately. And we quickly headed to the left flank. We went outside, told them everything, and we went to the left flank, and when we arrived there, we immediately got down to business. Everyone fought as best they could, Kurama and everyone else too. Well, I stood there and did nothing. And I raised my head and looked at the sky, which was not visible because of the gray clouds. And it started to rain. Hinata, Sasuke, Sakura, Shikamaru and everyone else. I don't know why you did all this then. But now I don't hold a grudge against you anymore. I forgive you for what you did. Now I have a new life with new people, and it seems to me that a new love has appeared. But I would still like to hear the reason. But that's not possible. I whispered and closed my eyes and smiled faintly. Naruto, what the hell are you doing? Now is not the time to dream. Kurama scolded me. Right. Thanks for distracting me from my thoughts, Kurama. Well, let's play. I used the cover of the 10-tailed beast. And I began my game. The tailed beast went wild, as did Kira and Yuki, and they all worked well together. And I joined them. And suddenly we noticed that the enemies began to use some kind of machine unknown to us, and even Kira and Yuki did not know what it was. And when this machine fired, it left nothing behind, only dust. And this machine fired at us, thanks to the tailed beasts, it did not hit us. What kind of machine is this? It destroys all living things. What are we going to do? I asked the tailed ones. Well, of course. Son Goku didn't have time to finish before Kurama interrupted him. Destroy them as their enemies, Kurama said with a smile on his face. Excellent. Yuki, help those who are wounded, and we will go straight to the enemies and destroy their car and them along with it. I ran straight to the enemies, and all the Biju followed me. No, Naruto, you can't do this, shouted Kiro. Don't worry about him so much, he is still Uzumaki Naruto, he won't die so easily. Yuki put her hand on Kira's shoulder and calmed him down. We ran from Biju straight towards the enemies and dodged the machine's shots, and as soon as we approached them, we destroyed the machines and the enemies with one blow. We got the victory on the left flank. Hooray, we won on the left flank. I couldn't be happier about it. So, are you going to go back to my stomach or are you going to stay here a little longer? We don't get along very well with people, so we'll go back to your belly, said Matatabi. That's right, said the tailed ones. Well, as you wish. I put my hand on my stomach and closed the seal, and all the tailed ones returned to the stomach except Kurami. And we ran to everyone else. You're just something, Naruto. Kiro started waving his arms and saying something. I didn't understand anything, but I pretended that I understood everything. But you really are something. Yuki started to approach me, and as soon as she wanted to say something, she was accidentally pushed, and she started to fall, and I wanted to catch her, but I couldn't keep my balance, and we fell to the ground together, and Yuki was above me. She looked into my eyes and blushed a little, and then I followed her. You're flirting in broad daylight, how shameful, hee, said Kara. Stop making things up. We're not flirting. Yuki quickly stood up, hitting me. Why did I have to do all this? I said and stroked my hit cheek. And everyone started laughing, even Kurama, and you can't even tell that we were just fighting. But our fun was interrupted. You are the ones who volunteered to help us, so why are you sitting and resting? Ask some guys who just came here. And what are you like? Asked Kiro. We were ordered to come and help you hold the left flank. In short, we are reinforcements, said the man. Well, they're a bit late with the reinforcements, said Kiro. What do you mean? They were confused. We have already defeated everyone. We defeated them and held the left flank, I said. Did you handle this yourself? The guys shouted. Why does no one underestimate us? I muttered. Well, those guys who came told us to go over to the right flank and help them. And we did so, everything was the same there. I freed the tailed beasts, and they again fought shoulder to shoulder with Yuki and Kira, and so did everyone else, and we won again. And we chatted happily again, but that unpleasant feeling visited me again, and apparently Kurama too. Kurama, what is this feeling? It's so familiar and unpleasant, I said to Kurama. So you have this feeling too, said Kurama, and started looking around. And suddenly we realized what this feeling was. Everyone get out of here quickly, I shouted. How is this possible? But this chakra of his, I'm sure, 100%. Run away from here if you don't want to die. Kurama shouted at the top of his lungs. What happened, Naruto? Asked Kiro, not understanding. Don't you understand me? Run away from here if you don't want to die. It's him, I'm sure of it. He's already close, very close. I couldn't calm down. Can you explain? Kiro started shouting, and as soon as I wanted to explain to him what was what, the answer came by itself. Ha 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 ha, I thought that I was resurrected in vain. But when I felt your chakra and the tailed beast's chakra and immediately went to you, Naruto. You will amuse me, right? Ha ha ha. A familiar voice shouted. I don't know how you ended up here, but I'll amuse you and then kill you, I said quietly. Aren't your words too arrogant? Asked a familiar voice. No. I will personally kill you. Madara, I shouted. Madara? How is that possible? This is not possible. People shouted. Well then, go ahead and attack. Naruto, Madara shouted. I don't know how you ended up here, but I'll amuse you and then kill you, I said quietly. Aren't your words too arrogant? Asked a familiar voice. No. I will personally kill you. Madara, I shouted. Madara? How is that possible? This is not possible. People shouted. Well then, go ahead and attack. Naruto, Madara shouted. Or no, I'll attack myself. Madara started running at me and I at him, and I am already using the Ten-Tails cloak. What is this? Is this the Ten-Tails cloak? Ha ha ha, this will be fun, Madara said between blows. You're right. But I'd like to know how you ended up here. I used Rasengan and wanted to hit him as soon as he hit me, and I flew a couple of meters. These people used Edo Tensei. But they can't even control me, Madara shouted and started running towards me. And as soon as he ran up to me, I found myself behind him. How are you? Asked Madara. I learned it. Flying Thunder God technique. I learned it when I was learning the Ten-Tails Shroud, and I don't need to use a kunai, and it's pretty convenient. I used the Rasengan and I aimed it at Madara, and he's unable to dodge, and then I strike from above. And he falls to the ground and the ground begins to collapse. And my seal begins to appear on his body, thanks to which I can easily get closer to him. And when I hit him, I retreated from him and I was near Kurami Kirayuki and everyone else. Damn. I expected anything but Madara. What are we going to do? You can't kill him that easily, I said in a quiet voice. I don't even know Naruto. But you can still put him to the test. Now he is not the Jinchuriki of the Ten-Tails like then. And it is not Kaguya with whom you fought. In another dimension. And it is not your best friend to restrain his power so that Naruto we can defeat him. Kurama supported me and everyone started the same. Thank you all. Kurama, protect them all so that they don't get hurt, I said. Okay, Kurama didn't have time to finish. You idiot, you put a seal on me. And you sealed it well, I'll pay you back in the same way. Madara shouted and Susanoo appeared above him, and it was the biggest Susanoo I've ever seen. And I realized that something was about to happen, so I told everyone to go to a safe place or at least step back a little. When they did this, I started running towards Madara and suddenly, out of nowhere, a fire appeared around me that could burn me. And I used the Flying Thunder God technique and appeared behind Madara, and I created a double Rasen Shuriken and threw it at Madara. But because of Susanoo, they didn't get it, but all of Susanoo was damaged and it was destroyed. And I began my attack. Multiple shadow cloning, a lot of my clones appeared around me and they started to create Rasengan for each other, and they started to attack Madara, attacking him one after another. And when this attack ended, Madara couldn't move and he started to say something. Not bad, but to destroy me you need more, and you probably forgot I'm under the influence of Edo Tensei. Madara began to get to his feet and his body began to regenerate. If that's not enough for you then, I raised my hand and pointed it at Madara and a small red ball began to appear in my hand. And when it formed I pointed it at Madara. It flew and when it reached its target the ball exploded and destroyed everything that was caught in the explosion. And I teleported to Kurama and everyone else. Naruto, you won! You are our savior! People shouted. No. It's a tenacious pain in the ass. You can't kill it that easily, I said. What do you mean? How can he survive after that? Asked Kira. He was resurrected. You must know the Edo Tensei technique. Well, thanks to it, he is here now and he will not disappear so easily. We need to seal him. I started thinking how this can be done. We need to think faster while his body is regenerating. You think correctly, Naruto. We need to seal him or dispel Edo Tensei. Then Kurama explained how to dispel Edo Tensei, and it is not so difficult to do, and when I understood everything I went to Madara and he completely regenerated. Well, shall we play Madara some more? I said with a grin. Of course. I haven't played enough yet, Madara shouted. And there's clearly something wrong with his head. Why is he constantly shouting? And again we started the battle, but this time for some reason we didn't use chakra, we fought hand to hand. And we were not inferior to each other in this. And so I used the Flying Thunder God technique to be his back and dispel Edo Tensei. And as soon as I had just a little bit left to dispel it, someone hit me and I fell to the ground. But when I saw who hit me I was shocked. Yuki, what are you doing? I shouted. I just saved Madara from destruction, Yuki said proudly. What? Have you really betrayed me? I screamed wildly. I wasn't on your side from the very beginning. Her voice didn't even waver. But why? Why did you do this? I have an abyss inside me now. I want to evaporate. Fall into the ground. Forever. You're so pathetic right now, Naruto. Aren't you, big brother? She turned to Madara and he just remained silent. Big brother? Are you really Uchiha, Yuki? I looked at her, looked into her eyes. Rinnegan. How is that possible? And at the same time, I thought about myself like that. No, I definitely thought about myself like that. And I realized that it was the hardest thing you can feel. The feeling that no one needs you in this world. I have been living for more than 600 years or maybe longer. And all thanks to these eyes. I can live forever and live happily. But it didn't happen. You killed my brother when he became alive. You killed him in the Fourth World War when he became alive, and if you hadn't killed him I would have lived happily. She screamed louder and louder, and I began to become more and more disappointed in friendship and love. I fell to my knees and couldn't come to my senses. You feel the same pain and sense of betrayal as you did then, right? She shouted. How? And then, I asked in a whisper. Yes. The pain that I caused you. By the way, your friends didn't betray you. After her words, my body began to tremble and throw me into the cold. Then that day they were all under the influence of my eyes and they did everything only I wish, ha ha ha. It's really funny. But it was even funnier when they came to their senses. Your beloved cried for days on end and even wanted to commit suicide. But your faithful friend did not allow it, and he also looked for you for years like everyone else. Ha ha ha, many mourned you and punished themselves for what they did. It's so funny. Ha ha ha. She began to laugh hysterically. And I can't anymore. A scream rises from within me. From my voice it comes out, into the world, a heart-rending scream, in which is all of me. All my feelings and fears, wounds and pain, memories and loneliness. This is my scream for myself. For my weakness. What a sincere confession, Yuki. Madara appears behind me and I receive a spicy blow to the back. It was so painful that I could not get up. But it does not compare to the pain that Yuki just caused me. And when Madara attacked me, he began to approach Yuki. What a fool you are, to take revenge for something that never happened. You have fallen so low, Yuki, Madara said in a quiet voice. WH. What? Yuki took a step back. I will not die at the hands of Naruto or anyone else. You don't even know anything and you will already take revenge. You have disgraced the Uchiha clan. Madara shouted. If someone does not know how Madara died, read the manga chapters 678 to 679. Forgive me, Madara. She lowered her head down. Die. And I will forgive you everything. He wanted to kill her, but I gathered all my strength and ran to Yuki. I was afraid that I would not have time to protect her, but I sang to protect her with my body. Madara pierced my body with his hand. You're cleaning out the one who destroyed your life. It's a funny sight, Madara sighed. It doesn't concern you. I put my hand on his shoulder, and I dispelled Edo Tensei. Madara began to gradually disappear, and the last thing I saw before Madara disappeared, I saw that he smiled. And when he disappeared I fell to the ground, and when Kurama felt it he immediately ran up to me. Naruto! Naruto! Just think about dying! Shouted Kurama. Really, was all this fair? I just did it all in vain. But why? Why? You protected me? Yuki screamed. Because I fell in love with you, Yuki, I barely said. I started to raise my hand to touch her, and Yuki took my hand and started to sincerely apologize with tears in her eyes. Forgive me, forgive me. Because of my revenge, I ruined the lives of many people, and you, and myself, Yuki said. And tears appeared in my eyes too, and my body began to glow, and the same happened with Kurama. What is this? No, I'm not letting you down. I don't want you to die, Naruto. Please don't go. This is all because of me. She hugged me. Don't think like you're condemning me to death. Even if the lines change and I'm gone. As long as you remember me, I'll stay here. Yuki. I put my hand on her heart and smiled. I love you, Yuki. I hugged her, and she hugged me, and after she hugged me I disappeared. Turned to dust like Kurama. No! Because of my revenge. I didn't even notice that. I fell in love with you more than anyone else, Yuki whispered with tears in her eyes. The war ended thanks to Yuki and those who owned chakra, they won. Everything fell into place again, only some things changed. Konoha was rebuilt, and many people moved there and began to live there. The law banning the use of chakra was also repealed. And everyone began to learn how to use chakra again, and for this they began to build schools the same as they were 600 years ago. Everything became as before. Children wanted to become shinobi and Hokage, and everyone looked up to the hero who saved his friends and comrades many times. But then he slept for 600 years, and when he woke up, he returned what was lost many years ago, and it was Uzumaki Naruto. A hero who was betrayed by everyone, but he still believed that there is friendship, and for its sake it is worth sacrificing your life.